What's going on, guys, and welcome back to my F1 driver series. This is episode 3. There was meant to be another race at Monza, but I deleted it because I'm an idiot. But anyway, getting into this series here, as you can see, Claire Williams here is welcoming us, which is kind of surreal. Welcome to the team. Between yourself and George, I'm sure we can have a fantastic season. My door's always open if you need anything. Kindest regards, Claire Williams, Deputy Team Principal. So let's advance on here. We have the weekly resources. We have the car reveal, which we basically know what the car looks like, but we're gonna go to the car reveal. We're gonna see how our car is looking for the season. We already know what it looks like, and yeah, as far as I know, it's going to be the same unless it changes, but I genuinely cannot see that. But here it is, and the Williams car. They make it look so fancy, but yeah, I love this one. To be fair, I love this Williams car, but the Colgate one was a high roller one. But yeah, talking of Williams in real life, George Russell will be racing in the Mercedes this weekend, so my dream came true. Obviously, I wanted George to be racing in the Mercedes this weekend, and it has come true. But also, another character that was in my series, Mr. Jack Aiken, is also going to be racing in the Williams this weekend, so very interesting there that two drivers that I actually kind of am fond of are basically going to be racing this weekend in opposite cars. But there is the Williams car. We can now see it. As you can see, we're going to go through the weekly resources and all of that bits and bobs, all the parts and that are going to be added. Let's see what our messages say here. It says, Claire, you have to show some patience for the first part of the season, as we expect our initial pace to be towards the back of the grid. But don't worry, everyone's working hard, and we have great investments in the team. As long as you do your bit, we should be able to move towards the middle of the pack over the course of the year. So obviously, like I said, we're not looking for podiums at this team. We're going, we're looking more for, you know, back of the grid. But yes, guys, we're going to get into the Australian race weekend here, and yeah, if it's how it played out in the My Team, then I'll be seeing you guys in the what do you call it? I'll be seeing you guys in the qualifying pace here at the first season at Williams. Peace, guys. See you then. Woo! So, obviously, I'm doing my FP1, and we just had this guy come up to us saying that we've got an interview. So I thought I would add this little snippet in here so it keeps you guys in the loop of the season and how things are going here at Williams. But yeah, we do have a little interview here with Will Buxton, which is obviously the man that we interviewed first when we had when we did My Team. So yeah, Will wants quick word before we start. So let's see what happens. Here we go. He wants to go on us. Instead of with Claire, it's Will. So what has William got to say to us? Here we go.
We're used to seeing rookies in Formula One every year. This season, there's a youngster that's arrived with perhaps a little more interest in them than usual. And that's because while they've been successful at every level of their career, from karts all the way through to Formula 2, they've somehow managed to stay pretty much under the radar. They don't have that luxury anymore, though. They're in Formula One. Millions of people around the world watching their every move, both on and off the racetrack. So let's take some time to get to know them a little bit better.
Here we go. Interview time, baby.
So tell us a little about yourself. What's the thing you're most excited about being here?
Definitely the competition. The average drivers are really going to push me to my limits. Being the fastest car, F2 was quick, but there are a whole new level. Becoming the best, and the principle of motorsport is if we're to achieve my dreams. Definitely the competition. The average drivers are really going to push me to my limits. Got it, kind of not.
After your successful junior career, you must have had a lot of interest. What drew you to sign for your current team?
Reliability is a key issue for me, and the team really seemed to protest about everything. Fantastic aero team. They've created a good package for the season. This car has one of the best chassis in the grid. The team really knows how to get the best out of the power unit. Reliability is key issue for me. The team really know how to.
Going to be the biggest challenge for you this season?
Getting overrated, you have to get on the ground and running. Not many rookie drivers contend for the championship, but I'm aiming for it. Right now, I'm not sure. Ask me after my first race. Not right now, I'm not sure, but ask me after my first race. I think that's like the sensible answer there. But yeah, cheers for the interview, Mr. Willy Willy. Let's see. But yes, guys, I think that should be it for interviews. If there is any more interviews, then I'll slide them in. But yeah, that will be it for the sort of race section or whole portion. But I will just make sure. I don't think it is. I think we'll be going straight into the Australian. Yes, we're straight into the race. So yes, guys, this is first practice, and I'll see you dudes and dudettes in the qualifying pace. Woo! So guys, welcome into the one-shot qualification. I know that I said I was going to do the qualifying pace, but I've decided that from a few comments of people I know, they said that the qualifying pace is just not a thing that we definitely need. So we're not going to be doing the qualifying pace at all. We're just going to go straight into our qualification and hope that we can... so we'll go from the beginning, which is obviously being in the office, sorting out a few bits, and then it will go straight into qualification. No more qualifying pace, and if anything happens in practice, then I'll talk to you. But yeah, going into this, obviously I'm not very comfortable, I'm not very happy. The Williams car is absolutely poo. I genuinely cannot believe how poo it is. It's a lot more poo than what I thought it was going to be. So it's kind of a disappointment, really. You know, obviously, like I said, I was expecting the Williams car to be poo, but my goodness, it's not great. But it's not the worst car on the grid. It's not great, but it's not the worst car on the grid. This is probably the best I've done in all practice. Keeping up with Hamilton right here in this Williams car is crazy as we do fall down the grid. And as you can see, Hamilton is pulling away. I would be surprised if this Williams car does keep up with the Mercedes, which it doesn't. But yeah, the car ain't great, the car ain't bad, you know, it's a 50-50 to be honest. I genuinely cannot sort of describe it. It's like kind of like it does good and then it does bad, as we all basically lose our whole position there. We were just holding P6 all the way down to P20 because of a bad little turn. But yes guys, that is the qualifying complete, and we will be starting the grid in P20. Can you believe we was up in P6 and because of a little spin out we're now in P20? But yes guys, I hope you enjoy this, and yeah, I will be seeing you guys on the race weekend.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at Albert Park, home of the Australian Grand Prix since 1996, and home to round one of this year's Formula One World Championship. Just south of Melbourne's downtown business centre is the one and only Albert Park circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy circuit with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake and a couple of good passing opportunities here as well, thanks in part to the DRS zones into turns 1, 3 and 13. Here we are then, Formula One in 2020. The fight for the World Championship all starts here today. Mercedes on the hunt for a 7th consecutive title. They'll have Ferrari and Red Bull to contend with along the way. Williams struggled to find their feet last year. They'll be hoping for a stronger start this time around. And what I wonder of the Renault-powered cars. Will they be able to step forward? Maybe even onto the podium on a regular basis. Plenty to discuss then with Anthony Davidson. He's out of hibernation too, and alongside me in the commentary box once again.
It's good to be back, Crofty. Let's hope for some good racing today. We can't know at this point how competitive these teams are relative to each other, but hopefully nobody is able to run and hide. We want to see these drivers pushing to the limit all the way to the checkered flag.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel and Albon, Sainz, Norris, Perez and Daniel Ricciardo, Stroll, Ocon, Daniel Kvyat and Gasly, Magnussen, Raikkonen, George Russell, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Grosjean and Bird. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So guys, we are here at Melbourne and we are in P20 in the Williams car. In our race directory they did say to us that we needed to basically be as aggressive as we possibly can from the start. We do send it now down on the outside of Giovinazzi and Raikkonen, and we are climbing the leaderboard even more as we do brake now, coming into this corner, staying out of the trouble, and we are now up into P15 after that courageous driving from the start here. We need to keep our noses clean because we don't want to cause any damage to the car early on, otherwise we will have to pit, and that completely throws the whole game out, as we do give Ocon a little nudge there just to let him know we are here. And now we are up into P14, which is an incredible start for us. As I said, we need to try and keep our noses clean and continue doing what we are doing, but from being P20 up into P14 you cannot complain too much. But we do have some very fast cars behind us, which is Gasly, and then obviously Russell in the Williams is a very good driver, so we do need to try and defend as well as overtake as best as we can in this car. If we can keep this positioning, that would be absolutely amazing now on Gasly. But Ocon is just pulling away there in that Renault, just ever so slightly away from us, as we do brake now and come across and follow it all the way through, making sure that we keep up with Ocon as best as we can. And yeah, like I said, we've got to try and keep our noses clean and make sure that we keep a clean race, because we don't want to have any parts falling off or stuff like that. And it's been an absolutely amazing start from us here. And yeah, like I said, we need to try and keep focused and keep our noses clean, make sure we don't lose any parts or wing damage, because that will detriment the car massively now, as we do come onto this famous straight now, slamming down the power, pulling away from Gasly ever so slightly and catching up with Ocon as best we can. But we have to make sure that we watch the braking now, make sure that we don't go slamming into the back of any cars that are ahead of us, because that will cause some terminal wing damage. So we do ride the curve ever so slightly there, make sure that we don't you know, cause any proper damage to the car as we brake very heavy there. And we are on Ocon's tail and the rest of the pack's tail, and we're just buying our time and waiting for our opportunity to get Ocon and Kvyat and the overtake done on those two. And yeah, make sure that we continue to keep our nose clear, making sure that we don't cause any problems for the car or the cars behind. But Gasly is now breathing down our throat in that AlphaTauri, really sort of showing us that actually you need to be as careful and drive as cautiously as you possibly can. That is basically what I'm trying to do here. Make sure I keep my nose clean, make sure I keep the car as best position as I can, because P14 is a very good position for us right now, and it is keeping us very much in the race and making sure that we are doing everything we can to keep it clean. And as soon as DRS is open, we could get Ocon overtaken here, but we have to wait for the DRS to open up, because the car is just surely not fast enough to get the job done on Kvyat and Ocon. We're going to need to wait for the DRS to open as we do brake now, come into the first sector, round to the start of the line, or the start line. And yeah, we do have Pierre Gasly now up ahead of us, and when DRS opens he is surely going to make sure that we feel the pressure from his DRS now, as we do come now breaking through, and make sure we follow this line all the way through. There is a yellow flag ahead, and it does look like it is a McLaren of Carlos Sainz, so that is Carlos Sainz out of the race now, as we brake very late there and almost caused a collision, but not too late. We do get the job basically done on Ocon there, and yeah, that is a confirm that Carlos Sainz is out of the race. And that does move us up into P13 now, as you can see Ocon trying to shove Kvyat out of the way here, and really starting to get feisty there on his power. And now they're having, it's too wide for them to right there in front of us, and we're having to really sort of keep back, and maybe we could take advantage of their kerfuffle here as we do come round now. And we have the power down on the thing, and they are too wide. This is crazy racing from these two now, basically keeping up with each other. One has to give very soon, and it is Kvyat who does give, and Ocon has now jumped up into P11 as our DRS is now open, and we are closing the gap ever so slightly on Kvyat here. Make sure that we continue to focus and drive as great as we are doing, as Kvyat is now slowing up, and maybe just maybe on this straight we could get the jump on Kvyat as long as we do the turning right. We do get a yellow bump now because of the brake, because of our braking. We did bump Kvyat just a little bit, so our wing is slightly damaged, but DRS is now open for us. And we are now opening our flaps just to get that extra drag. And yeah, we do brake now into Kvyat, and there does go our wing, and Kvyat has spun out because of our collision. And there he goes. Kvyat is spun the hell out. That was very bad for me because the braking was really bad. But that is Kvyat basically probably out of the race, or at least losing his position right now as we do bump up into P12 with a bit of dirty driving. But what is driving unless you're being a bit dirty? But yeah, we are now into P12 and we continue to race as well as we are. And yeah, we're driving as fast as we can, trying to catch up with Ocon. But a new strategy is available because of the wing damage. So this lap here, we're going to have to come in and replace the wing, because obviously it's very detrimental to our race and to the car, and the car will lose a little bit of power and speed due to there being no wing. So if we leave it, then it's going to make a massive difference to our race altogether. But yeah, we're trying to catch up with Ocon now and everyone else, and trying to make sure that we continue to race as well as we are doing as we follow it around now. Make sure we keep our noses clean, like I did say. But we are going to lose a lot of positions when we do come in for the pit here, and it could really screw our race up massively. But you can see the sort of difference of the car with the wing damage there. The braking is just completely off as we do come into the pit now to get the job done on our wing. And this is going to take so much time and shave so much time off our efforts here. And we're going to really have to do some crazy racing here to stay and not get the wing damage as we do come in now, getting the wing done and changed. As I do believe that is a Haas coming in as well. Or that is not a Haas. Yeah, that is a Haas coming in. I don't know what Haas is coming in for a wing change. But yeah, Kvyat is also... Kvyat has a 5-second time penalty as well, who is ahead of us, and that is Grosjean, who has come in early for his pit stop already. And yeah, we're going to have to continue trying to climb the leaderboard as best we can. But we are in P18, which is very bad, but it doesn't mean that we're out of this race. Like I said, Kvyat does have the time penalty ahead of us, but the car is going to perform a hell of a lot better now because of the wing change. If we get round to that start there, we can maybe catch a few of the pitting people off guard, but I don't know about how quick we can get this done. But we are quite far behind the pack now, and we really have to sort of pick up the speed and hope that we can get the job done. And yeah, I just think that the wing damage there has just been very, very hard, and yeah, it definitely detrimented our race, should I say. So this is what I have to look out for when, like I said, leading into this. These are things that I have to look out for, and I've got to be a lot more conservative with the overtakes and make sure that I can do so, because it will absolutely screw us and screw our whole race if we basically don't look out for things like that. So we're going to have to continue racing as good as we are racing, should I say, and hope that we can get the job done as quickly as we can. But we do see Kvyat just ahead of us there, coming around to the start line, so that is a positive for us because we are very close then to the cars ahead of us. So that is a very big confidence boost for us that we aren't as far from behind the pack as far as we thought we was. And yeah, we are basically needing to get the job done now. We're going to follow it all the way around down through to make sure that we can spice things up and catch up with the pack. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of cars boxing now, as I just heard on the radio. So that ain't great for us because it means that everyone's getting on their tyres as we are still nowhere near the start line. So we do need to pick up the pace a bit and maybe slam it through a few corners and give it all that this car has got to give, because we need to try and at least jump a few positions upwards, or at least trying to catch people who are in the pit off guard and try and make a few positions that way. But we are going to have to wait and see what does happen. But it was Romain Grosjean who did have the wing damage as well, so he had to go in and pit early, just like myself. But like I said, Kvyat does have obviously the 5-second time penalty, so it's not as bad as maybe what it should be, and yeah, we could have done a lot better. If we didn't have the wing damage, we'd be a lot higher right now, but we did suffer a bit of wing damage, so therefore we did have to take the pit when it was needed, because the car performance would have been a hell of a lot worse than what it is now. As you can see, Kvyat is ahead of us. He still hasn't pitted yet, so all the cars ahead of us are still not pitted as we do continue to race forward. It feels like Kvyat is so far ahead of us. Like, I see him for a brief second, and then he goes off the screen for a bit. So we do see him for a brief second, and then he does go off the screen. But we are catching up and making time up on the cars ahead. And yeah, we're doing a very, very good, solid job right now to keep up with everyone and make sure that we're still in this race and fighting as best as we possibly can do. Which, to be honest, I'm not surprised with how this race has gone. Obviously, we had the wing damage, so we had to pit, and that has kind of sort of thwarted the race, if you want to say, and made it a bit more difficult for us than what it probably should have been, to be honest. And yeah, you can't obviously take away from the fact that it has been a bit of a shite race, really, especially as our first race of the season. But you know, P20 made it up to P18. It's not absolutely crazy, but it's not the worst either. Obviously, we have had one retirement, which was Carlos Sainz, so that did help us out to climb a position that maybe we possibly couldn't climb before. And yeah, like I said, it's just been a bit of an up and down race for us. We had the positive at the start, and then obviously the negative in losing the wing, and that really did fault our opportunities here, as we do see Danny Kvyat there. I don't think he's pitted yet, or he is pitting. So we will, hopefully, if he is pitting, we are going to get the overtake done. And also we could jump Kimi Raikkonen here if we can get down to the straight as quickly as we can, and we do get the jump on Kimi Raikkonen also, so that is a absolute great. But everyone else ahead of us is on the mediums now, so it's just a straight race to try and catch up with them and try and make as many moves as we possibly can. But from P20 into P16, I would take that. If you said that to me at the start of the race, I'll take it. You know, we couldn't ask for much more in our first sort of race in this car. Obviously, this track ain't one of my favourites. Even in my driver series, I didn't do great at this track. So, yeah, I wasn't expecting to do amazing stuff at this track. So, yeah, we are slowly catching up with the cars in front, but it's going to be a very difficult job to sort of catch up with everyone. And yeah, Russell must be very far up the leaderboard because he's not in any of the lower positions. So fair play to Russell out here doing the work and making me look like a newbie, which is what I am realistically, especially in this Williams car. So yeah, Russell's driven the car before, he knows what to expect, and yeah, we've just got a lot of pace to catch up with here. Like I said, I'm not expecting to catch up with the likes of Norris and Ricciardo. The power of their car is just crazy, but our teammates are in the pits, and that is Russell in the pits, as yeah, you did just see on the screen, which is crazy for us because it means that we can now catch up with him, and we do have an opportunity to overtake him here as long as we can get the power down. And there is quite a few people in the pits that we're gonna basically overjump here, so that is crazy for us. And we're now up into P12 after the pit, so maybe the early pit has really worked out for us here, as we're now in P12. And yeah, like I said, it has worked out amazingly for us, and I can't complain anymore. But yeah, as we do break now, following it through, and yeah, the strategy of the wing change has worked quite a lot. We've done very well to climb the positions that we are up in, and like I said, from P20 to P12, I'm very pleased, and we're very lucky because obviously, like I said, you know, obviously we've been very fortunate with some of the pits and the strategies that have been played today, and for us being P12 is kind of mad, really. And my main aim was to try and get some points for Williams, which I don't think is going to happen. But if we can keep P12 above Russell, that is a definite middle finger to Russell to start with, to be honest, because he's our teammate, and obviously he's our closest rival because he is our teammate. And it does basically affect how the team's going to play. If obviously I'm racing better than Russell, then that means I'm basically going to get the better strategies, the better, you know, compound of tyres and stuff like this. So if I can finish above Russell, then that is going to be a middle finger to Russell to start off my Williams career with. Obviously, I love Russell in real life. He's a great driver, and you know, talking of this weekend, it was very unfortunate for Russell with the problems he had in the Mercedes, and it is very unfair. And I hope that, you know, obviously gets another chance at some point to race in that car, because he proved to everyone that actually he isn't that bad of a driver. And you know, Mercedes have got a real dilemma on their hands, because he showed actually he's an amazing driver, and maybe he could be the driver that could bring it to Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But in this race, I don't think we're going to catch Stroll and Ocon, like I said, because they're very fast cars, and yeah, we're just going to have to settle with the P12, I think. But I'll take P12. From P20 to P12, I'll take that. We've done very well in the circumstances we've had with the wing damage and stuff like that. So I will take that. It's not a podium, but like I said at the start of the spree, I'm not expecting podiums with Williams unless the car gets a major upgrade. But yeah, I'm not expecting podiums with Williams. If we can get a podium with Williams at least once, then I'll be very pleased. But we will have to wait and see, and it would have to be a sort of track that I'm very confident in, and I know all the turns and stuff like that. But like I said, this ain't my favourite track, to be honest. I have never really had any good luck at this track. It's even though it's the first track of the season, I find it as one of the most difficult and annoying tracks to race on. At the start of the season, like I said, you can even take it back to my team career. I struggled a lot on this track. I think I finished third, which ain't bad, but it's not the best either. So yeah, as we do go into this corner, it's this corner right here at the start that always catches me out of it, because I think to myself like, oh okay, I've got enough room to do on braking or whatever, and there just never is enough.
Of fuel remaining.
And as you did hear on the radio, we do have 5 laps of fuel remaining now as we do brake, and we're following it around. Make sure we try and catch up and close the gap with Stroll as much as we possibly can do. But yeah, Stroll and Ocon are in their own sort of league at the moment, and yeah, I'll be very shocked if I do catch up with any of them. But we are closing the gap on Stroll ever so slightly by every lap that goes on. And yeah, Russell is still in P13, sorry. So that is a positive for the Williams team, that we're quite far up the board rather than in real life. Williams quite far down the board. So the Williams team should be happy with how we've sort of raced this time, and obviously being in P12 up into P12, started from P20, sorry, and then up into P12, you know. Don't think the team could have really asked more of me. I'm sure they're not going to be too happy though, to be honest, because they want you to be finishing higher than that. But I hope that they obviously realise and are realistic enough to realise that actually the Williams car ain't the greatest car, and being in P12 is quite a feat, to be honest, considering some of the better cars behind us, and considering we had to pit early for the wing damage. You know, it's kind of a good feat for us here to be able to say that, alright, we didn't win the race, but P12 is something I would take all day long, you know. The car ain't great, and yeah, we know that, and it's a work in progress, you know. It's a team that's a work in progress, and one day we will be great, but for the time being, we're not great. And yeah, you know, we'll just see how it gets going. But I was thinking, instead of changing teams, should we just do like a Williams to glory? I know that sounds crazy, but I was thinking a major F1 mode. Obviously it's called it My Driver's Seat, but what if from like this episode onwards I call it Williams to glory? Because we could take Williams to glory. Can we get Williams to be the top constructors team, the top driver team? Do you know what I mean? I know it's going to take a few episodes to get the car as best it can, but could we bring Williams up to being one of the best teams on the grid? I don't know, we'll have to see, but I think we possibly could. I know that every team has a cap on how good their engine and stuff can be, so maybe we could. Let me know in the description. I will keep calling it My Drivers Series until we just actually decide what we want to call it. But I was thinking maybe a Williams to glory could be a good little thing to start here, you know, and a good way to sort of kick off the series. But we are on lap number 12 now, out of 15, and we're still in this P12. George Russell quite far behind us. We're pulling away from him ever so slightly, but the car in front is also pulling away from us. So yeah, we've done very well in this race to get in the position that we are in. Like I said, considering we had the wing damage at the start, I thought that would have detrimented the whole race, but it hasn't. And you know, been very fortunate with some of the pit strategies that the teams have chucked out. Even our own team, Williams, on Russell, which allowed us to overtake. To be fair, I didn't think I was going to be able to catch Russell, with the pit obviously going our way, then yeah, it's very fortunate how it's gone. But yeah, as we do break through now, making sure we continue to drive as good as we are doing. It did show briefly a yellow flag ahead, and that is Danny Rick out of it, and we are now going to be up into P11, ladies and gentlemen, with Stroll and Ocon creeping into the points there. And yeah, that's crazy. Danny Rick is out of the race as well. So, and that is very sad for Danny Rick, considering this is his home Grand Prix, and I'm sure he'll be very, very frustrated with the fact that he's out of his home Grand Prix. But we are up into P11, and yeah, this is very good for us. You know, the race has turned out amazing, to be honest. I didn't think it'd turn out this good. I thought it was going to be right down in the dumps because of the wing damage, but no, it has turned out very, very fortunate for us. And I'll take that P11 from P20 to P11. That is insane. If one more car could just crash out right now, that'd be perfect. I'll be in the Williams points, and yeah, I'd be very pleased. But yeah, as you can see, Stroll is pulling away ever so slightly. Each lap that goes on, and our car is obviously nowhere near catching him. Before he was sort of on our mini-map, and now he's just completely off our mini-map and nowhere to be seen. Or as you can see there, a little bit, you could just see the back end of old Stroll's dot there on the map, but for now it's kind of just like yeah, as bad as it's sort of going, I guess. So yeah, as we do come across the line here for the 14th lap of the Melbourne Grand Prix here, and yeah, we're trying to just make sure we consistently drive as well we are. But I should hopefully get some big kudos to be from being in P20 to P11, and yeah, as you can see on the board, Raikkonen has overtaken our teammate in Russell, so that's even better for us that, you know, Raikkonen's done that. He's done us a solid there to be able to catch Russell napping, should we say. And yeah, that's a crazy overtake there by Raikkonen on our teammate. That is George Russell, and yeah, we're still doing as good as we are doing, and we have chopped down the time on Stroll just a little bit, so it means that we're still catching up with Stroll, but not very quickly. As we do come around here, I don't know what happened, the recording sort of jittered out there a little bit, so we are back onto this corner. Honestly, I don't know what happened with the recording there, it sort of jittered out, and on my screen it blacked out at least, so yeah, I don't know what happened with the recording there. I'm very sorry about that, guys. And yeah, we are back on it into that corner as I go. I don't know what happened with the recording, it sort of blacked out, so it will be half and half, and it will sort of cut back to me onto this corner. So yeah, I don't know what happened with the recording, it's sort of sodded up, as we say, and yeah, I genuinely don't know what happened, but anyway, did this much, it's just me going into that corner. And yeah, as you see, final lap of the race, we are up into P11. Like I said, we've done ever so well in this race, and we've tremendously done well to hold the position at least of what we got. And yeah, like I was saying before we cut out, I really hope Williams at least like say to us, well done, good race. You know, you started in P20, you're up into P11, like GG's. But I'm not expecting that. I'm sort of expecting like a sort of crappy comment, really, saying, oh, well, good race, better luck next time, you know, because obviously teams want to win, so I do fully appreciate that and understand that they do want to win. But yes, as we do follow it all the way through now, make sure that we keep as close to the wall as we possibly can. As you do see Mercedes win the Australian Grand Prix, and yeah, Valtteri Bottas is the winner there, not Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas. Can you believe it, Mr. Bottas here? But we are racing around now against the clock before obviously the race cuts out itself. I want to get across that finish line. Please let it happen. And yeah, we're doing very well. Our fuel canister is blinking away there to tell us that we are on our last legs of fuel. But yeah, luckily we are here at the start line, coming around to the finish here. From P20 up into P11, the Williams car has done absolutely amazing here at its first Grand Prix here in Australia. Checkered flag and across the line. So the Australian Grand Prix here. Well, yeah, we done excellent there, I think, to be honest. You know, from P20 up into P11, I'll take that. Driver of the day is me. Can you believe that? Look at that quiet pose. Like, yeah, man. But yeah, like I said, I'm not surprised that we're driver of the day from P20 to P11. That's quite an upstep and quite a marker there. And as you see, Valtteri Bottas is the winner. It's probably Valtteri Bottas, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, because that is how it is in real life, and that is how it is in the game, because Mercedes are just so goddamn consistent. But yeah, GG's to Mercedes. Like I said, I wasn't expecting to be up into the championship points or whatever. Obviously, I would like to gain some points from Williams, but I wasn't quite expecting it. But there you go, Valtteri, Lewis, Max, all on the podiums. Let's skip past this because it's not us, so I don't care. That's really selfish of me, but I don't. But yes, guys, as you can see, we did a very good race there. We are in P11 up above our rival, which is George Russell. And yes, guys, let's advance and see if we've got any interviews or bits and bobs like that to contend with. I'm sure we don't have too much to contend with, but we will ask and see what the memo and stuff is going on. Here we go with Claire. Let's see what she's got to say.
Pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
You gained a lot of positions during the race.
During the race, didn't you? It was great. The car was sticking to the track. The car is nimble and light. It was a breeze. Our power advantage really came in handy. The car is nimble, light, and a breeze, which is very true. It was. I couldn't do it without a great team behind me. Obviously, we want to be kissing the team's ass. It wasn't the cleanest race. None of us was. None of us wants to be the person to break back down. These things happen. Yes, that's very true. It's quite like a good comment, because you don't want to back down. You don't want to be the man to be like, right, I'm stepping down, I'm not going into this corner. You know, you want to be the guy to be like, yeah, man, I'm out here. I'm like showing you that I've got the business. I've got a very big set on me. So, yeah. As you can see, obviously, with the, like, boom, I kind of like that, you know. I'm not like, you know, I think it's a bit cringe, but why not? Let's have a bit of fun with a character. You know, it's not real life and stuff like that. But yeah, we are back at the team headquarters. Round 2 of 22. I'm just going to wait for this to load, just in case there's something that I need to tell you guys, and rather than chopping it up. But yes, guys, that is the end of the race. Obviously, we are going to be at Bahrain. That is our next race, is at Bahrain. And yeah, I'll be upgrading the facilities, the R&D and all that stuff. But I will get into that into the next episode. But yes, guys, this is the end of this My Driver episode. Like I said, I might do a Williams Glory. I don't know yet. We'll decide later on. But yes, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you guys are enjoying this new series as much as I am making it, then please do smash that like button. If you're brand new around here, please do hit the sub button. It helps me massively. I've been Jake, and I'll see you dudes and dudettes in the next video. Peace, guys. Woo!